Welcome to Studio 58A live here at the Jamaica Information Service, our discussion program coming to you live online. I'm your host, Vaughn Davis, the Info Boss. Thank you to everyone joining us wherever you are around the world. Thank you so much for your eyes. We really, really appreciate it, people. And like we have your attention, do us a favor, man. Share this video with a friend or two or 10,000 so we can have a very lively discussion. And as you watch, do me a favor, send in some comments, some questions, everything like that, so we can have a whole heap of engagement going back and forth. Remember, the purpose of the show is to give you an opportunity to have a say, talk to persons who are involved in the different elements of the government service, so many different elements of so many things, so we can have a dialogue going on. All right, I put sheet, comforter, cushion, all them something there down in the comment section, just for you to get comfortable and feel free, like you can exchange your ideas and so on. All right, good. Now we have a great show lined up for you today. In our big interview segment, we're going to be talking with the LASCO Principal and Teachers of the Year. Stick around for that. Should be a great conversation about the ways in which they are working to really transform the schools and transform education in Jamaica, provide a lot more for our students. It's going to be a really great conversation. Stick around for that. All right. And of course, we have our People Business segment where we talk about the different opportunities and different programs designed to help persons improve themselves, add more to their lives, that kind of thing. People always say nothing nah go on. People business, making know say things are go on. And of course, we have Arts Page, where we share with you all the different things that are going on the cultural and creative scene over here in Jamaica. So you definitely want to stick around for that. And we also have Top Topics, which begins right now. All right. Andre the engineer, cue up our graphic for Top Topics.
Top Topics.
All right, well, joining us in Top Topics today is Krista Fuller, a member of the JIS social media team. She's here to make sure that I, old man Vaughn, I'm still on the same page as what's going on with the youth. I am relevant, I am current, I know what's going on out there, and I can get their perspective. Welcome again, Krista. It's great to have you.
Always a pleasure to be here. Hello, people.
All right. Andre, the engineer, somebody online is saying we're kind of low. See if we can sort that out. We definitely want people to be able to hear us and participate. All right. So, first top topic of the day. I am going to start over in the world of agriculture, because agro-parks and production zones across the island saw a 230% increase in crop production during the 2022-2023 financial year compared to the same period last year. The positive performance was attributed to investments in production and infrastructure in 8 agro-parks. I am talking about agro-parks because, as I tell people all the while, we've been talking about financial literacy and growing and making money and so on. I tell people, like, agriculture is one of the best investments. Why? You cannot eat money. All right? So, that's what's going on. I think it's a fantastic thing that we're having such great productivity in the agricultural sector. What say you? Are you interested in agriculture? You could see yourself digging or maybe running a farm or something like that?
Running a farm? No. Trying to plant stuff, like things that I would need in the kitchen? Sure. I think that's always fantastic to get things fresh to cook. And I like to cook. But unfortunately for me, I don't have the greenest thumb.
Okay, you have a black thumb. Your thumb black. It is like one of the murderer thumb. When the plants them see them start tremble and so on.
Boy, it look like I got them for true, because nothing, it never work out for me. But I will invest in my mother who has the green thumb. So if you can do it yourself, just make sure you're associated with somebody who can do it. Yeah, because it's really important.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
She can plant, I can sell. Collaboration. That sounds like a plan.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
All right? You stay far from the plant, them.
Right.
And she do all of them something there. All right?
Yeah.
But like I said, there's lots of room that our Minister of Agriculture, President Charles Jr., is definitely encouraging as many people as possible to jump into agriculture so we can boost overall production on the island. We believe that agriculture is one of our strongest sectors that can help to grow the economy and stimulate a lot of positive change in the country. So, we definitely love this. I love this very much. 230% is
that's
great
a big
performance.
jump.
That's a big jump. You know what I'm saying? on to the next topic. What have you, Krista? I would jump onto mine, but I want to hear from you. What do you say?
Okay, well, let's go with something a little more soft, a little more tender. We just celebrated Valentine's Day on the 14th, and in Parliament, Juliet Holness, as our dear Prime Minister's wife, she presented the men in Parliament with roses, and she even gave her husband a nice little chops. I really would like to see all of that excitement. If you'd like to see a photo highlight of that, you can go on our social media pages just so you can see what happened there. But I thought it was really, really sweet. A lot of the times you hear the men complaining that women are not forthcoming with the gifts, or they don't really do things for the men first.
Very accurate.
Whatever.
Very accurate.
Well, she's proving that point wrong. She made a bold step and did that for the men in Parliament. And I would just like to applaud that. I like that energy. It was really nice to see that. Yeah.
Yes, it's nice to see, putting her husband on center stage and making all the other men in Parliament feel special on the Valentine's Day.
Wonderful
typically,
example.
it's the other way around.
Yes.
Typically, the man them not really get nothing still. So, it's a good look for make sure that they felt appreciated and so on. Change up the impression of Parliament, because people tend to think Parliament is boring. But it was nice to see a different change of pace going on in the Parliament. All right, another thing I definitely wanted to talk about this week is the fact that our Governor General outlined in the throne speech, which was part of the ceremonial opening of Parliament, which took place this week, is that a new shelter for survivors of gender-based violence is going to be opened in Western Jamaica by December this year. It's a big deal because there are currently 2 shelters, and they're located in the corporate area, Kingston and St. Andrew. And it's great to have that kind of facility over in the West so that women who are, going through that kind of situation will be in a position to get the help that they need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And coming on the heels of the situation that happened up at UWI, very unfortunate situation where a young lady was assaulted in the dorm room of one. I'm granted that was in Kingston, but it's just nice to know that facilities are being made available to persons, women, who are victims of gender-based violence and so on,
Yeah, because you never know what's happening where, It might be more highlighted here, or persons will blast it up here, but you never know what's happening under the quiet somewhere, especially on the western side, where they might not have, like the best access.
Yeah, exactly. Especially so knowing that they have that kind of facility over in the West definitely makes us feel a lot more comfortable knowing that.
Yes.
I mean, as we can't exactly tell you where it is, it's meant to be confidential so that abusers can't locate it and go and cause all kind of havoc and so on.
Studio 58A.
More is being done to address gender-based violence.
Studio 58A.
We have to deal. It's sad
Studio
that we have to
58A.
deal with it.
Yeah, but at least there's help.
Studio 58A.
Of course, our condolences go to the young lady who
Studio
endured that terrible
58A.
ordeal, and we hope that justice.
Studio
justice goes.
58A.
Everything is done in a way that will ensure that one
Studio
receives
58A.
support, care, and so on, and the perpetrator is held accountable and that kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know. It's like, gentlemen, believe me. Let me talk to the man.
Talk to them for me, please.
Gentlemen, do me a favor now, please. Do not make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings, all right?
Yes.
Believe me when I tell you that the emotions, the anger, whatever emotion you're feeling based on a situation, in a couple of months, a couple of weeks, days, after a period of time, because time is the master, eventually you won't even remember, it won't even matter.
Yeah.
So a lot of you make decisions to go do something to somebody or whatever, chances are in a couple of weeks you'll just regret it terribly because it never needed to happen.
Couple of weeks. Can you imagine for his case now? He's charged, locked up, years for something.
Exactly.
I don't even know what happened.
Another thing is that a lot of these things that you end up doing, they're not expungible. They're charges that are not expungible. So you make this decision now, in the future.
It's permanent. Can never be erased.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Andre, I'm seeing the Studio 58 graphic on screen. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, we're back up on live. All right, great. All right, let's move on to something else, maybe something a little less sad, unfortunately, but let's try something else. Anything else you want to share? I have my list, but I want,
We have more activity going on in the West. A student of the University of Technology, she donated 3 nebulizers to the Savannah Lamar Hospital in Westmoreland. And the director of nursing services, she said that the gift was very much well needed because unfortunately they're having an increase of respiratory illnesses amongst the children there. So the donation of the 3 nebulizers will be put right into rotation and be put to good use. So we have good things happening over in the West. Love to hear it.
All right, great. Definitely. We love when persons partner, because that's one of the best ways, as we said, teamwork make the dream work.
Yep.
One of the best ways to ensure that our systems work is when our people jump in, lend a helping hand and offer their
100%.
support. All right. It's a great look. Love it. As you say, we're going to try and find her, see if we can do something and show it up on our social pages so you can get more information on that outstanding young lady. All right. All right. I think I'm going to drop one more and then we're going to call it a day. I just want to say that the government of Jamaica and the Republic of Greece, the Hellenic Republic of Greece, let me say it right and make it sound all important, have signed a memorandum of understanding for the establishment of a framework for future bilateral cooperation. And Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, says the MOU will facilitate consultation and it signifies a commitment to deepen relationships between both countries. So Jamaica and Greece, Greece is all the way over in Europe, far, far away, but we're trying to build a connection. As a matter of fact, I believe I think Montego Bay is being twinned with a city in Greece. I don't remember the name of the city right now, but big things.
So Montego Bay will be in Greece? Is that what you're saying?
Will be twinned. So they'll have a brother-sister relationship going on. It'll be great.
Got you.
Hopefully that means that some visa thing can run.
That's what I...
You can fly out.
That's it.
Kind of thing. Greek people can come. Drake have the song about Greece. I kind of want to go. Based on that. So it's a good look. You know what I'm saying? All right. So... now we're going to call that for top topics today. But if you want to get more information on all these stories, just jump onto the JIS website at jis.gov.jm. We have a whole host of stories, videos, audio, you name it. We have a whole heap of information for you to get all the information you need. It's going on over there. You can follow that, and definitely don't forget to connect with us on Twitter at JIS News. Follow us on Instagram at JIS Voice and TikTok also at JIS Voice, and interact with us so you can get more information. All right, people? And we're going to call that the end of Top Topics.
Top Topics.
Big interview.
Now we're going to jump straight into people business. I love chat people business. It's so nice, huh? People business.
Yeah. We're going on the people business this week.
No, Andre, not big interview. People business. All right. Cue up the right graphic. All right. So, in people business this week, so 150 persons who work with at-risk youth are benefiting from our series of workshops geared towards building their knowledge and skills in preventing crime and violence among young people. That that sounds fantastic to me. You know what I mean? More people working to prevent the crime rate from going up.
Yeah.
I already get my thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Finally, it's a training that's being held in various locations across the island. It's undertaken by the Planning Institute of Jamaica in partnership with the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Participants are drawn from government ministries, departments and agencies, and non-governmental organizations who provide interventions for high-risk, youth in high-risk communities, at-risk youth, etc., etc., etc. So, what do you say about that? Sound like a good look,
anything to
don't
keep
it?
the youth occupied and to give them an outlet.
All
Because
right.
they're looking for it. Whether or not they're saying it, they're looking for it.
Yeah, I
So
do
this is
believe
great.
that. I believe that there are a lot of youth who just want something positive to get involved in.
Yeah.
And this is a great look to just give them that kind of opportunity. So big
Yeah.
up PIOJ, big up USAID and all the persons who are working. I don't think we big up the people who are on the ground doing the work. To actually keep the children out of the gangs and keep them the illegal guns out of them hands, that kind of thing. Big them up. Really have to appreciate that. And interesting thing to know in people business again, we were talking about a trade mission to Guyana recently, meaning our Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce organized a trade mission to Guyana with several Jamaican business people, stakeholders and so on. Took them all the way to Guyana.
Whoa.
And it seemed like we signed some contracts, some good things coming out of it. Because from what I'm hearing, based on what we have on our website, the news story, it was a success, and several contracts were established in construction and technology to supply Guyana with building materials and technological support. The construction supplies will aid in the development of roads. Kind of mixed feelings about that one. That resist the urge. Resist the urge. So we'll be helping Guyana to develop their roads. Great look. And we'll also be providing IT support to several Guyana companies to help them, build their infrastructure and so on. We're a little bit ahead of them from what our minister is saying. So it's a great partnership to help them improve their overall IT infrastructure, which is great. I mean, how we often hear Jamaica importing these things into country. So it's great to hear,
I'm wondering if we're also exporting labor.
I don't know. That would be great, though.
It would be good. I think we have a lot of good engineers out here that would be able to.
Engineers, architects, lots of people who can offer some expertise. And they said the thing of it is that Guyana recently discovered oil. So they have a little.
They have some money, you know what I'm saying?
And so, I mean, Jamaica wants to be at the head of the line to make that stuff like, hey, neighbor.
What's going on? All right, I can respect that.
Hey, neighbor, everything good? Everything all go on? Everything all right? Yeah, I think that's what the minister is doing, and I can't hate that. That's how we build connections and grow the economy. It sounds like a good look for me.
Then
all right.
We can get to our roads.
Yeah.
But I never said
what?
that.
Huh? What? Where?
I don't know.
I didn't even hear.
Transmission broke there
Transmission
for a
broke down. All right, people. If you know of an opportunity or program that can benefit our people, don't keep it to yourself. Send us an email at studio58a@jis.gov.jm, and we'll shout it out right here on our show, right here in People Business. Or you can jump in our DMs on our various social media platforms. As I mentioned, that's JIS News on Twitter, JIS Voice on Instagram, and JIS Voice on TikTok as well. Jump in our DMs, shout us out, share all the information, anything for help uplift the people them. We want to hear about it, we want to talk about it. That's why I'm at the info boss. Send me the information, people. All right.
Just before we close People Business, I just want to let persons out there know who have coffee-based businesses that the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival Marketplace is coming up. It's going to be on March 25th. That's Saturday, March 25th. And they're inviting persons who still want to showcase their products, whether it be coffee itself or byproducts. You can sign up to have a booth there on property. It's going to be up at Newcastle on the Newcastle Parade grounds. So if you want to know how you can get involved, how you can have your products showcased there at the event, you can visit www.bluemountaincoffeefest.com.
So
I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a fantastic event. I mean, it's the first one since COVID, so we're back in full effect, people to people, that kind of thing, up in the hills of Newcastle.
Yes.
Nice, beautiful environment and everything. It should be a great event.
I think persons are now coming to the realization that coffee is very versatile. So I see people with soaps, body scrubs. So it's not just for consumption, but it's really good for your skin as well. So I'm looking forward to see what products persons have to showcase.
All right. And our Krista and the team is going to be there. So you can look for all different kinds of videos and create content. So if you can't be there, if you can't jump on a plane and come to the island and be able to participate, just jump on our socials and you'll see all the information about everything that happened on the show.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good look to me. All right, people. We're going to call it a day on People Business. Like we said, if you know something going on, send us an email at studio58a@jis.gov.jm so we can shout it out right here on the show. All right, jump in our DMs also. And, we just want to hear from you and understand what's going on. All right, but that is it for People Business. Oh, come on. All right, people, it's time for Arts Page. All right, for Arts Page this week, we're just going to continue recapping all the different activities that are planned this month. This month is Reggae Month. So, a whole heap of activities planned by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport. Try to make sure we have a fantastic Reggae Month. And so far, them not going too bad. There's a whole heap of events that they have outlined and talked about. On this week, on Friday, February 17th, we have a reggae conversation with Bongo Herman at 8 p.m. I have always heard the name Bongo Herman. I don't even think I know what him look like, but I just know that Bongo Herman is probably one of the, like an iconic figure in reggae.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it should be a great thing. Should be great to hear how him come from, how him get involved in the drumming. Bongo Herman, I would imagine by the name Bongo, he's a special drummer.
Same. That's exactly what came to my mind.
Yeah,
It'd be ironic if he wasn't.
Yeah, right.
Drummer.
Bongo Herman is one of our key, iconic drumming figures who know how to really incorporate the traditional and drumming with reggae music and so on. I've been hearing that name since I was a little youth, so it's a fantastic thing that he's been able to maintain his legacy over all these years. All right. That's a reggae conversation with Bongo Herman at 8 p.m. on Friday, February 17th.
Right.
And there's also the Children of the Icons in Ocho Rios at 9 p.m. All right. And at the Echoes of Sound System semi-final 1 at 10:30. That's all on Friday, everybody. Lots of three great events. Sounds fantastic. Children of the Icons is children of a lot of our stellar reggae performers.
Right.
You have to roll out to go see who those persons will be performing. But that's in Ocho Rios. You can't miss it. Jamaica, just follow the music. follow the sound system. Follow the music.
Can
follow
probably
all
get
of that.
from a mile away.
Yeah, exactly. All right. On Saturday, February 18, there's also another Children's of the Icon, this one is going to be happening in the Grill at 8 p.m. And later on, there's also the Echoes of Sound System semi-final 2 at 10 p.m. All right. Like we said, just follow the music. Just go out the door, look up, touch your tongue to the sky, touch your finger. You will hear the music.
Ask somebody for
feel
some
the energy.
direction. I'm going to tell you if you go round, so go down
Round
some
one
more,
part,
turn
round
on the
place.
river bend down the so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if you want more information, you can always check out the MCGES Jamaica. That is the Instagram page, all socials for the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport.
All right, definitely. Also, you can download the Reggae Month app, which is in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. That gives you all the information. It lists the full calendar of events for the Reggae Month activities. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be fantastic. Download that. All right. So I think I'm going to call it a day for the arts page. I just want to focus on Reggae Month. Reggae Month is too integral. We need to make it bigger and better and higher. I want people to come to Jamaica for Reggae Month. Yeah. So check out all the different Reggae Month activities going on. All right. But at the same time, I didn't get to bring the book I wanted to. I'll bring it next time. All right. A book that I think we should really use to make some videos. It's our Folk Customs and Beliefs book. Okay. A lot of the things that we say and old wisdom, things from the ancestors and so on, or African ancestors, which imparted these things onto us. Right? We can share them and we can do some videos. Book. And it's a beautiful book. But if you know of a book, play, show, or anything that's going on in the cultural and creative sector, drop us an email, people. Like I said, studio58a@jis.gov.jm. Send us some information. We will gladly and happily showcase all the different things that are going on. We want to know what you're doing so we can say, but look on the awesome book here, the awesome song here, the awesome play or something being done by one of our own. All right? That's where we're here. We want to highlight you and put you on a platform for success. All right, people? Like I said, JIS News on Twitter, JIS Voice on Instagram and TikTok. And then jump in our DMs. Tell them to jump in our DMs.
Jump in our DMs.
It might sound better if you say it.
Jump in our DMs. We are there. We will respond.
I want you
we'll
to
get
be
back
like,
to you.
Jump in our DMs.
Don't stop. Why'd you continue?
Fine. I'm just saying.
Interact with us on socials. We're there. We're present.
Right. Okay. I'll do it then. Jump in our DMs. You know what I'm saying? We're looking out for you guys. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you. And I think that is it for our arts page. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Top topics.
Big interview. 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 Big Big interview.
Really special guests, and I'm so happy to be talking to them. Andre, are they in? Are they ready to jump on with us? Fantastic. All right. I see everybody. I see all three of our guests. It's great to have all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Well, let me begin to proceed. Let me begin with my intro. I just want to make sure. Can you all hear me?
Hearing loud and clear.
All right.
Yes, we can hear you.
All
Hearing.
right, fantastic. All right. Let me proceed to introduce you in the right way. All right. Just stick one thing. All right. So, people, we have some genuine celebrities in the house. At least they are to me. And I long for the day when we start to really recognize how special the people like today's guests are. We have LASCO 2023 Teacher of the Year, Morant Bay High School's Jody Brown, who I believe should be just as popular as Skeng. We have Principal of the Year for Discovery Bay High's Dwayne Mulgrave, who should be just as popular as Bounty Killer. And we have TVET Teacher of the Year, St. Catherine High School's Gina Mullings, who should be as loved as Spice. The work they do is beyond essential to our country's growth and development and future, and we are here to highlight them even more today. Welcome to all of you. Thank you all for being here, and I'm really happy at the opportunity to be able to speak with you guys. All right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, really a pleasure to be here.
All right, so I'm going to start with you first, Jody, our Teacher of the Year. I want to ask you the question, what kind of teacher are you? What makes you, I want to get an idea of what kind of teacher you are that made you stand out enough that you were rewarded in this special way. If somebody said that's the Teacher of the Year, that's Jody Brown, and somebody like, introduce yourself, let me know who you are. Who is Jody Brown?
All right, good afternoon, everyone. First, I must correct you by saying that it's Morant Bay Primary School,
Morant Bay,
not
okay.
Morant Bay. Yes.
Okay.
So I
Sure,
get that a lot. All right, so who's Jody Brown? First, Jody Brown is a teacher that is very child-friendly and one that takes the children's interest at heart. I am hardworking, very dedicated, and one of the things I have come to realize is that I am honest, because everybody, when they see Jody for who Jody is. So there's no facade behind what I do or how I look or I smile or if I frown. I am just Jody. And I think one of the things that made me stand out, well, the honest truth is, based on my understanding, it would have been my work and my hard work that I have done and the type of work that I have done, not only for the school, not only for the children, but also for the community. Because I get to understand that this year we were not chosen by the principals. We were actually chosen by the region. And so it must mean that the work that I have put in is recognized not only in the school, but also in the region itself, which would have been Region 2, St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary.
All right, that sounds that sounds like a real fantastic thing. To be recognized by your peers is one of the best things in the world. Not necessarily just because people might like, the principal is a little bit biased, obviously, but to get recognition from all the different persons in the area, that sounds like a fantastic thing. All right, over to you, Mr. Mulgrave. Who is Mr. Mulgrave? We know that Mr. Mulgrave is principal of Discovery Bay High, but who is Dwayne Mulgrave?
Thank you again for having me. Well, I'm just a humble servant, humble soul, trying to do the best that I can in all the ways that I can to all the people I can, and just making sure that I am having an impact on the lives of people. I don't believe it is enough to just exist. I think we need to live. And in living, we need to make sure that we are not making dents on people's lives, but we are making positive impacts. So I'm the guy who I am not a part of the problem. I try not to be. I try to be a part of the solution. I show up and I do the work. I do the work when it's hard. I do the work when it's easy. I do the work when I have what to work with and who to work with. And I do it when I don't. And so I show up. I don't complain. I believe that I have more than enough to achieve greatness and to achieve success. And so I look at those things. You would say I am an optimist. I'm very optimistic, and I find that if I change my perspective, more often than not, I'll be able to achieve what I want to achieve. So no matter what people say, I show up and I do the work. Whether I have naysayers, I do the work. Whether I have the resources, I just do the work. So I'm that servant leader right there with the people who make me who I am. And I often say I am because of who they are, the people I work with. We must never take people for granted. I love people, and perhaps that is why I'm a principal.
All right, we're going to get into more detail about who some of those very people are who help you, because in truth, you do stand on the shoulders of a lot of persons who support what you do as you go about each day. You might be the face, but believe me, there's a whole lot more behind that. But we're going to stick up in there and jump over to Miss Mullings. Miss Mullings, talk to me now. Who is Gina Mullings, and what kind of teacher is she? Who is, when you just book her up or you see her in the classroom or you watch her move, what makes her such an outstanding educator?
I'm Gina. I am very agile. I'm very adaptable. I'm flexible. I love children. I love it when the children do really, really well, because I'm cognizant and they're cognizant that their success is mine. And I believe too that when they don't do well, by default, it becomes a little of my failure as well, even if I've done my best, because the reality is that their results reflect on you. I work very hard, just as Jody would have said, and Dwayne, my principal Mulgrave, would have said. I work very hard, and we are here because our work speaks volumes for us, you know. I work in my school, I work in my QEC, I work in the region. I've collaborated internationally as well. I am that professional development go-to person. You know, my friends jokingly call me the PD junkie, because if it's free, I'm on it once it's good for me and good for the people with whom I interface. If I have to pay a little for it, I consider it an investment because it helps to build me as a person. So, you know, you can offer because you can't give what you don't have. I'm that type of person. I'm the person who is involved in this ethical love triangle, I tell people, with my students and with my parents. And sometimes the triangle evolves even into a different shape because you become involved with your church and your community, and you just spread the love across. I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 4 wonderful children, children who hold me to account. I'm a wife as well to a wonderful man who supports me from every angle imaginable. And, you know, I believe that I've worked really hard and I am deserving of this award. I believe that Dwayne and Jody deserves the award too, and all the teachers who would have been awarded on the day for recognition to the field of education. We are hardworking people on and off the camera. We show up, we show out, and we do all, even when nobody's looking. And that's just a small snippet about Gina.
All right, fine. Well, you won't hear the complaints from me and the argument from me as to whether I deserve it, because believe me, we know exactly what the challenges are. We know, you know, and you show up every day and you get to work. And the fact of that, as you know, as Mr. Mulgrave was saying, you show up every day and you get to work. Good days, bad days, whatever, everything in between, the children still have to be taught. The school still has to run. Things still have, because at the end of the day, we are responsible, for, like I said, for the future of the country. You are the ones pouring into their minds in a very direct way to make sure that our country can proceed down the path it's supposed to. Now, the question I want to ask each of you is, why education? Why? You know, I mean, you could be doing anything else. You could be, you know, you could be farming. You could be, you know, I don't know, any number of things in this day and age. You could be doing so many other things. Why education? What about education keeps you coming back? What provides that satisfaction, and what makes you want to stay in the classroom? Jody, let's start with you.
All right. So for me, I often tell the story. I really didn't want to be a teacher. That was never on my mind. As a matter of fact, I wanted to be a chef.
Okay.
I wanted to be a chef or a doctor. And when something happened in high school and I could not become the doctor, then a teacher that saw something else said, "All right, Jody, come. You are going to be a chef." And so she took me in the home ec department and she worked with me. And I started representing the school in 4-H and all of these things. And that's where I said, I want to be a teacher. I want to be like this lady, where I can impact lives of children who might be in the system, wanting to do something, but for some reason they were told that they were not good enough. And so I wanted to be like her. Still wasn't really sure if I wanted to be the teacher. So I applied for UTEC to do hotel and tourism. UTEC never had any space. Application was done. The process was up. So I had to apply to Michael. They were still taking applications. And I think all in all, God wanted me to be a teacher so that I could impact lives. And not only lives of any and everybody, but the lives of children from certain communities. Because I grew up in a community, quote unquote, that they would call ghetto. So the first day I stepped out to go to Morris Bay High School, persons on the road said, "You can't pass to go Morris Bay High School." And I was like, okay then. A little boy about 9 or 10 and person saying that, I felt really discouraged. And I said, if I can get children to have confidence in themselves coming from these communities, then no matter what people say about them, it will actually push them to be better. And what keeps me in teaching is the fact that I see that I have impacted lives from way back. I see that I've impacted lives. And even now, sometimes jokingly, I would say to persons, I'm going to leave. And you see persons would send a text or somebody would come by the school or send a message to say, "No, I have a daughter in grade 1, you have to stay 5 more years until my daughter reaches up there, my son reaches there, my nephew reaches up there." So people see that you are genuine and they see that you have the interest of the children at heart. They are going to want you to impart that onto their children or into their children. So that is one of the things, those are some of the things I should say that actually keep me in the profession for being a teacher. I would have had also persons who motivated my lives when I was young. And funny enough, these persons were actually teachers also. So it seemed as if God actually placed them in my life to ensure that I travel down that path of being a teacher.
All right, fantastic. All right. Like I said, protect this man at all costs. We need him to say, "Yeah, go boy, yeah, retire, yeah, go leave it. Now go work, yeah, for go stay." For everybody who have a daughter or somebody at grade 1 who going into Morant Bay Primary, yeah, you know what you need to do. All right. And I would love if you guys, online persons watching on YouTube and also on Facebook, jump in the comments. We need to congratulate these people. Let them feel the love and appreciation. All right. Let's see if we can get some comments going and see if we can share the emotion. All right. We already had one from Kerry Ann Brown saying, "That's our POY Principal of the Year. Egret, Daddy, so proud of you." I think you know what that means, right, Mr. Mulgrave?
Certainly I do.
All right. So, but over to you now. How did you end up, not even your bypass? Were you a teacher or did you go straight into administration?
Well, like Jody, I wasn't so sure. Sometimes even at age 17, you're really not sure what it is you want to become. I wasn't sure, and I did a mixture of subjects at St. Elizabeth Technical High School. By the way, I want to shout out the great St. Elizabeth Technical High School. Work on integrity forever.
I'd like to get away with that one. No problem.
Free. Yeah, it's a free advertisement.
It's a free one. Yeah.
Right. So when I got to grade 11 at STETS, they have this program in schools that called community service and work experience, and I did both at St. Elizabeth Technical High School. It pays to do your very best in whatever you're doing, because you never know where the avenues will come from. And so I did so well on work experience that at the time, the head of department, Miss Sharon Finley, rather, said, I'm going on leave and I'd like for you to teach visual arts in my stead. Now, I was 17 years old, but I guess they would have seen my work ethics, on work experience, and so on. And so I became a pre-trained teacher at 17. And I taught visual arts for a year at STEDS. And so I guess it became a calling then. And I think teaching is really a calling. And when you are predestined to a particular vocation, I don't think not even you can derail that when you're destined to be in a particular sphere. And so I went to, they thought I was going to go to Edna Manley to do visual arts education. I don't think I was ready to leave my country, my country being my neck of the woods, right? So I decided I would go to Church Teachers College, which, by the way, is a world leader in the world of colleges. And I did geography and social studies education there. And I taught at Monroe for a bit. And then I went to Mushat High School in Wakefield, Trelawney. I was a classroom teacher, but I did very well there. And again, I say it's important to show up and do the work. I showed up, I did the work, and I was promoted to a senior teacher in less than 2 years. And then I moved from a senior teacher to acting principal of the school, which is not a normal route. It's not a normal succession plan. That's not how it works. But I was able to jump to the ranks of acting principal, and that I did in perhaps less than 5 years at the institution. Because you see, when you are called to serve, you really should serve without any kind of fear. And you mustn't watch the naysayers and watch what people will say. A lot of people will tell you that you're enough and you're overdoing it and
that's true.
Whatever. When a call is upon people's lives, a lot of people will spread that negative vibe and energy over your life and so on. But if you know who you are and whose you are, it doesn't matter. What is important is that you be the best version of yourself every day. And so I gave it my best, so much so that when the Discovery Bay High School came up as a new build in 2019, I did the interview and I was highly recommended to the board, but the board still made sure that they interviewed all the applicants and I was the preferred candidate. And so here I am today in a school that is 4 years old as the LASCO Principal of the Year, because I have come, I have seen, and I am conquering, because I believe that I must show up. I hear Gina say it all the while. We did the work. The recognition we are getting nationally, we deserve it. We did the work. And if I were to tell you some of the things I've had to do as a principal, we'd have to stay here until 6 o'clock.
No, and I believe you. You are psychologist, cook, counselor, mathematician, you name it. It's all rolled into one. We know that. Like I said, it's really superheroes we're talking to, but we just are relaxed today. We're not going to take off the cape and relax. And we're just talking today. All right?
Yes. That's it. It's really it has really been a quick journey for me, to be honest with you, because like I said, I didn't follow the normal route to promotion. I jumped very quickly, but it was not because of favor of people. Maybe God's favor, but not people's favor. I deserved to be promoted because I was working hard and I was applying myself. I did not accept the status quo where I went. I decided that I needed to be a part of the solution. How could I make this space better? And if everybody's like that, I believe we'll have a better society.
All right, sounds like a plan. I mean, it really does sound like this is something that you are called to do because the progression, it's obvious. You know what I mean? It speaks for itself. You don't have to say if you go to a place within a particular period of time, you know, you are establishing yourself and you know what I mean? It shows. And so, well, I can only tell you to continue keeping it up. Who knows, next thing you might be chancellor of the University of the West, but you know, hey, we'll see where that goes. All right. Over to you, Gina. But quickly, we have Lisa S. jumped on and said, congratulations to all 3 winners. Special big ups to my little sister, Gina. So they're getting some family love over here on the timeline. All right?
That's right.
So, Miss Mullings, oh, you end up in the classroom, Miss Mullings. You could have been a supermodel. You could have been something else. What happened? Oh, you end up in the classroom.
In my mind, I thought I would have been a nurse because that's what I thought I would do. You know, when you finish beating the potted plants and the stuffed toys, then you dress them.
Yeah.
Thailand. At one point, I said, no, maybe hotel and tourism management. But then being very young and my father, the late James Smith, we realized that, boy, you know, this girl not really so know what she doing yet. Decided that he would take me to the MICO. He applied and everything and took me there into the hands, I said, all the time of the day in Ransford Shirley. Phenomenal man, Mr. Shirley was. And that is where I realized that it was for me. Truth be told, when I was at high school, I'm a San Diego girl, Ravensworth all the way. And so I was there and I did my work. I did enough. But, you know, being very young and playful as we were a very young set. And I didn't achieve as much as I could have, truth be told. It wasn't until I went to the MICO that my potential really started to bust out there. And I saw that, boy, you know, I'm a teacher. I'm a natural teacher. I was told all the time that I have a natural influence that I didn't see in myself, but people somehow see it. And they say, Gina, you have that natural influence about you. You will be good at teaching. And so I did my best in college. When my father died tragically in my second year, it was devastating. But then for me, I realized that I really had to pull because he was the breadwinner for my family. There's no turning back at this point, you know. There's no failing, there's no reset. And so I doubled down hard. I did the very best that I could under the circumstances. And I came out doing very well. I actually got 2 awards. You know, I got Excellence for Practice Teaching, and I got the Courts All Island Award for practice for excellence in home economics. And so that boosted my confidence, but still I wasn't so certain if teaching was for me. At that point, I wasn't as big as I am now. I was very tiny, very slim thing with long cream hair and, you know, just tiny little figure of a teacher. And so I went to Sherlock Chemicals, did my interview, and I was to start the following Monday. And then my teacher, Miss Lorna Jackson from MICO, called me and she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm starting Sherlock on Monday. She said, you must be joking. Put on your clothes now and march yourself down to St. Catherine High. There's a vacancy. And so I went, I did the interview with the Miss Brown, Colleen Brown, who was the principal at the time, Miss Neal, then HOD, Mrs. Ross interviewed me, and they were taken by what they saw and heard. And they said to me, when can you start? And I say, I'm here, I can start today. And they said to me, all right, come back tomorrow. And for me, that's when it started. You know, I came into the classroom, a very young teacher with students who were maybe just 4 years, some of them 3 years older than I was. I inherited a batch of grade 7s, 9s, 10s, 11s doing CSEC. And it was a very good experience for stretching and learning. Throughout my years as a teacher, and I've been at St. Catherine High for my 29 years that I've been in service, right? It's a phenomenal institution. The then principal, Mrs. Joan Tyson Mills, would always say St. Catherine High is the University of Life. It's a massive school. It's the only single shift, the largest single shift school in the English-speaking hemisphere or English-speaking part of the Caribbean. And so we boast that. We do really well as well, and we have a mixture of flavorful students and teachers. And so anything that can be learned about in life, you can learn at St. Catherine High, a wonderful place for growing and learning. And, you know, I was there for a while. I did good quality work, I was told. And, you know, you have your little struggles here and there as a new teacher. But you learn as you go along, and, you know, the areas in which you fell short, you work on those, you develop. Just like the others, I was told by people, oh, you're too young. When a position of responsibility would come up, I was told, people were there before you. You're too young. You need to wait because most of us believe in this culture of waiting, serving your time or paying your dues, as teachers, you work in the trenches, your time not come yet. And so for me, I realized very quickly that the horizontal reach was my way of progression. The vertical reach was very slim at the top, and I would not get there very quickly. And so I invested very heavily in professional development. Even when persons were saying to me, "You're young, go on out and find a boyfriend, go to the movies, go have some kids or something like that. Oh, sweet, you're doing this and doing that." And for me, it caused me to develop into the kind of teacher that students crave to have. I am not purporting by any means that I'm a perfect teacher, but I believe that I'm a value-added teacher. And I believe that I bring value to the lives of my students and my colleagues with which I work extensively. And so for me, that's how I became a teacher. And every year you say to yourself, it's time to move on to something else. Daddy has gone to sleep a long time now. I would have honored him in that way. Maybe it's time to move on. But then another set comes and you see the merit listers are in that set. And you see the child who you say, no, this one maybe kind of need me some next year, and next year becomes the following year, and it keeps going on. And, teaching is one of that kind of thing that holds you in, it pulls you in. And if you decide to go admin, then you had to do what you're doing quickly. If you decide to reach out into the arms and legs of teaching, you have to do it very quickly, because when you become a classroom practitioner with the kind of passion that Jody and I and Mr. Mulgrave would have had, then it is that type that holds you there. And I love teaching. The students that I teach love me. We get along famously. They know the discipline is there, but I believe in the hard work and I believe in results. I love the results. I love it when they do well, because when they do well, I do well. School does well, and by extension, the country does well. And that is my path in teaching. That is my journey up to this point.
All right. I love the passion coming from all of you guys. It seems like teaching, it really sounds like teaching is where you were supposed to be. You know what I mean? And that's what I always believe. I believe you have to, find yourself doing the thing that you're meant to be doing. And once you're doing it, it's like it explains itself. The pathways and the hurdles clear themselves once you are aligned in what you're supposed to be doing. And so you find yourself just doing it. It's something that you would do even if you didn't have to. And it shows, and I really appreciate that. I really just receiving it from you guys is really, really quite inspiring. Quickly, Nana's Kitchen saying, big up my brother. I don't know which one of you that applies to, but yeah, Nana's Kitchen saying, big up the two of you. Charmaine Thompson saying, well done, teachers. And SH on YouTube saying, very impressed listening to your commitment, Mr. Mulgrave. So people showing you love, but I want some more love for the teacher and the teachers and the principal. All right, if we can big them up, let's keep that train going. All right, people. Next question I want to ask you guys now is, how do you overcome those down days? The days when it's difficult, the days when the picnic them I give peer trouble, the days when boy it just seem like it's a rank profession this me now. I can't manage this no more. How do you overcome those down days? That's especially useful, I would imagine, to the young teachers or those in practice in school right now and are weighing their minds, because I think that's the biggest challenge most persons feel. Oh, I'm going to deal with them woolly for pick me and get them to learn and get them to respect me and meet all of our targets and get the passes and all of those things, and the days when the children not cooperate and so on. How do you overcome those down days, Jody? Talk to me. How do you do it?
Well, honestly, for me, I go home tomorrow.
A lot of static from you, Jody, so I can't really hear you properly.
I don't hear me a little better, right?
Yeah, that seems a little better.
So I was saying, for me.
No, it's really quite bad. And maybe you might want to hold it steady. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's much better.
All right. So I was saying, for me, what I do is that God blessed me. What happens is that God blessed me with a very, very, very nice family. So my wife and my son at the time, now I have two children, two sons. One is a little baby boy, 6 months old. But whenever I was down, I would find my wife and I would sit and I would talk about everything. And being the very supportive wife that she is, Steph Marie, she actually listens and then gives me advice. Because the thing is, she's also a teacher. She's now the vice principal for the school that I'm working at. And because she had more experience in the teaching profession than me, she would give me advice based on the things that she was going through or she would have gone through. And so she was able to help me to overcome some of these things. I have had persons, like I said, the other teachers now who were there would have been in the system to say, Jody, these things will happen, but don't worry yourself, because guess what? At the end of the day, you are going to make it. Also, and I'm going to use a story to show you how I get through. When I just came to Morning Bay Primary School, I was given a grade 3 class. And these children, they were slow readers and also non-readers. And so I took one child, I said, go and touch the letter A for me. Gave her a alphabet chart, and I said, go and touch the letter A for me. And she went up to the board very happily, and she touched M. And she was like very excited, sir, I touched A. And I was like, okay, then this is what I have to deal with. And, going through trying to get the things done, doing a lot of research, listening to how these children talk, trying to become like them, I realized that they're listening to certain cartoons, they watch certain things, and I started watching those things, and I went back into the classroom and I used those things to actually teach them. And I used to write some nice little love note to my wife as she was working at the school. But I never fret, I wasn't worried, because the children could not read. And so I would take to my wife. But one day I was actually writing something. And while you're writing, you are reading. But for some reason, the reading was very audible. I could actually hear the words out of my head. And I was like, okay, then, yes, Jody, I know you're. And it was when I turned around, I saw some children actually reading the notes that I was actually sending to my wife. And I had to stop, because you're working, but at the time while you're doing it, it's as if you're not seeing the results. But when I heard them reading the little love note that I was sending, I said to myself, this is actually working. And at that time, something just said to me, Jody, stay in this. You can help these children. You can help them. And God so had it that we had a Christmas treat from the church in some of the same communities. And when I went into the communities, grandmother, auntie, cousin, everybody just come up to me, hugging me up. Mr. Brown, if it wasn't for you, my little son would be able to read. And these are those moments. When you look at those moments, you realize that, yes, despite these things that are happening, despite everything that is happening in the system, and, these little things, they actually help you to just keep moving on. Like you said to yourself, there's one more child out there that I can help to become better. There's one more little girl out there, one more little boy, one more niece, one more nephew, one more cousin, one more child from Church Corner, one more child from Springfield, one more child from Bamboo River that I can help to become a better citizen in life. And these are the things that actually help me to stay in the system, because I know that I am impacting the lives of these children. I will stop, because
it's the passion took over. You start preach a while ago. It's hard. I give you a little bit of a soapbox to do it. Quickly online, Kerry Ann Brown saying, one principal, Dwayne Mulgrave. Lisa S saying, always said teachers should get paid properly. Will never change that statement. The greatest teachers definitely love what they do. Tanisha Sinclair saying, big up to Dwayne Mulgrave. Marva Martin, congratulations to the three of you. Special congratulations to our principal, Mr. Dwayne Mulgrave. So everybody are roll out for you, and I must be Mr. Mulgrave. Boy, I tell you, you have a real strong community behind you over there in Discovery Bay. They seem to be really impressed by the work that you're doing. So, but I know, as always, everybody has those days. You have those days when, boy, you come to school and nothing just now go right. You know what I mean? It's just complaint after complaint after complaint. but you still have to get the work done. So what do you do to get through that process?
It is to connect with your why, why you do what you do. And I believe that will superimpose the challenges you're having. There is no utopic environment. You'll never have that. We will not go back to Eden, at least certainly not on this earth. So I believe you're going to have challenges. You're going to have problems. I do have many of them because I have started a new school. And with every new project, you're going to have teething pains.
Of course.
So I can tell you about challenges of not having the people to do, not having the resources to do, not having the support of those you really should be getting support from. And in an attempt to stay diplomatic, I won't call any entity, but just that you will have problems in life. And like I said, I believe it is to remember what you're about and stay true to that. Else you'll get lost in the many voices that beckon to you to give up. Because what do you do when challenges come? The question is for all of us to consider that it is at that point that you must stay true to yourself. Stay true to who you are. And if you mean to do something and you mean to do it really, then the challenges will never derail you. And so I remember the good days that I have had, and I use those days to pivot, to push me forward, to encourage me. And you need support. So you need your sounding boards. You need the people you can talk to and vent and say, boy, sometimes this thing is really a rough trek. But you need people, apart from the intrinsic motivation, which you must have, because you can't always depend on people. You need some people externally who will say, well, you just hold on. It's not going to always be dark. You won't always have the rough patches, and those people will help you to go through. What keeps me too is the fact that you'll see some graduates who are achieving, they are arriving, they are making their mark. And some of them might be students you were worried about, and you'd be wondering at a point, why will they ever be mature enough? Will they ever get to that level that they need to get to? Will good sense prevail in their lives? And then you see them making the transformation and making the mark. And those things keep you connected to your why, because it means then that it's not a fruitless walk. You are seeing the fruit. You see them achieving. And if that is what the vocation is about, it means that all hope is not lost. And so the bad patches is really just a patch. I often tell people, if you're going through hell, don't stop. Don't stop in it. Keep going through. And we do have our hell moments in the profession. But you don't stop. And the glory days come. It is our glory season now. And that is because we never stopped at the challenges. We kept pushing. And if I believe a life without challenges is a life that doesn't bring out the best in you, the best of you. Your best self doesn't come forth if all you can walk on it would be smooth roads. They say smooth roads never make for good drivers. We need the rough patches in life to help us to pull out the best version of us. And so I appreciate my challenges, and I think perspective is everything. And then there is God. You need to be spiritually well, believe me. Because, well, I don't know, people have different belief systems. Whichever God you believe in, or whatever the source from which you draw your strength. You need to have that repository or that calm repose to which and to whom you can go to pull strength so that in the difficult moments you are affirmed and assured that no trial, no rough patch lasts forever, and that indeed and in fact the sun comes up again. So you need that kind of spiritual strength as well.
All right, fantastic. Quickly, just I like to show it up to the people online who are tuning in and just sharing there, because it's the greatest compliment. They stopped and decided to write something to all of you. So, well, Sandra Wisdom saying congratulations to my principal, Mr. Dwayne Mulgrave, for winning the TVET, the LASCO Teacher of the Year. Blessings, sir. Tahisha Rumble. Big up to you, Sir Dwayne Mulgrave. Boy, Mr. Mulgrave, boy, your community, you know, your village is really strong. I have to say, your village showing up for you today, man. You know what I'm saying? That shows that that already tells us all we need to know. The people who show up for you and are here to lend their support, that tells you that, you know, they believe in you, they believe in what you're doing. So I guess keep on doing what you're doing. It seems to be working. You know what I'm saying? All right, Miss Mullings, over to you. You know, it's rough. You know, in Spanish, too, a lot of your students, you come from certain communities, and you know the challenges. I don't need to go. Right. I don't need to sing the song to you. So how do you overcome those down days?
You know, as my fellow educators said, they're gonna come. You know, they come every day. They come minute by minute. Some days are good. Some days are roller coaster style. But I believe in walking with my own sunshine. Dwayne spoke about the mindset, the lens in which you see things through. And so, you know, you have to set your mind a particular way. They're going to come, you have to acknowledge them. So you can't live in delusion and pretend as if you're not there and they're not impacting you in a negative way. But I walk with my sunshine so that wherever I go and it rains, I just pull it out and put it over my head. And, you know, it impacts those around me as well. I have my spiritual family, the Spanish Town, Seventh-day Adventist Church, a large contingent, and they believe in everything that we do. And, you know, sometimes the problems are many. You can't even tell people what they are. They don't want to go talk about your school business and defame your school in public. Sometimes certain things you must know what to say. And so you just call for the brethren and say, pray for me. God knows it. And you have a team praying for you. I have my family, just like Jody, my husband, who I speak about in glowing ways that, you know, sometimes when I talk about him, people blush, and he blushes too, because he knows just how much I love him and how much our children love him, and people respect him because he's a hands-on, beautiful man who takes care of us and he listens. And so when I come home with the problems, he listens, and my children listen, and they help you to filter through. You have to complain a little. You can't pretend as if everything is perfect, right? That's right. And, you know, I have my accountability friends all over the place. I have Rosemary Daly Richards at my school. She's my party, my PD party. I have Rosie D'Souza at Charlie Mount, and we call each other and we rub stories together, and we come out laughing at ourselves and people sometimes, which is necessary to preserve the mind. And, you know, you have people all over, the parents who you go to help to support the learning process. You know, you have to reach out to them as well. And so for me, the rough patches will come, but again, the way in which you deal with it is important. And I can't stop talking about the professional development, because that helps you, you know, that training that helps to build your emotional stability, that helps to build your emotional intelligence so you can process all that is happening and learn to separate things and don't take everything too personal. You know, at my school, I salute my school because there are many initiatives and programs that I have come up with. And when I approach my administration, I do it with the respect that is due to them. And they never tell me no once it's something worthwhile, and I give them kudos for that. And so, you know, we have that contingent at school as well, the HOD room in which I sit, where we laugh and we talk about things that happen in our department, and we work it out. And so the support is there. You have to reach out, and sometimes we hold things in. And I find too that the way in which we view teaching, many of us view teaching as a little thing, you know. We little up teaching all the time. I say to me, I do look at teaching. People say, what you're doing, you're still there, St. Catherine. What, 29 years? You still do the little teaching? There's no such thing as a little teaching. Right. Anybody who does a little teaching, I would want to meet them, because I've never encountered such a thing. It's not a little thing that we do. It's a lot, and we we impact lives, we change lives, we are transformational people, transformation of self and students and parents or colleagues. And so for me, when the days become a little dreary, I draw on that. I remember I tell my story very quickly 13 years ago when I became disabled. I went to work, was doing my work, realizing that I couldn't feel my big toe and the numbness climbed in a few days. And before you know it, I couldn't walk on my own. And I was diagnosed disabled with peripheral neuropathy. And, everybody was saying, what's going to happen? You're a young teacher. Will you have to stop working? And, that became a mental battle for me. And we worked it out, The support was there. My head of department, Rose Morris, the team with which I work, the home department, my administration, my family. The support is there. You have to just reach your hands out and grab it. And don't be afraid to tell people what's happening. You don't carry your private life to everyone, but you must know who to talk with, who to tell, who can support, who you can support. Mr. Hansel, my school, Shane, one of my very good friends, always says, be that friend that people would want you to be. And so, you be that friend to somebody else and somebody else will be there for you. And the rough patches become that distant memory after a while that you laugh about in true Jamaican style when you take bad things and turn it into laughter, right?
Exactly. All right. Yeah, that sounds so fantastic. So great listening to you. It's a pick me up I needed today. You know what I'm saying? All right. Once again, showing love to the people online who took the time. All right. So I figure out is Jomo Brown, straight out of Church Corner from Nana's Kitchen. I big you up, Jody. All right. So take that. Him a watch and him a shout you out. Shout out. Shelly McCarr says shout out. Delroy Williams, congratulations, Mr. Dwayne Mulgrave. Region 3 is super proud of you. Kerry Ann Brown again saying, big up, Sir Mulgrave, that Egret Discovery Bay hails your success. Charmaine Thompson, who seems to know you very well, says, whenever, it sounds like whenever you have an issue, you say, boy, Mr. Mulgrave turned red and said, boy. But then he would get to the root and find the results and add to that a mind of humbleness. So I guess, once again, people showing love and appreciating your contribution and so on. So your village is showing up for you, and I definitely have to big that up because, you know what I'm saying? It's always one thing when you can do what you're doing, but when people show up on your behalf, that speaks volumes. That speaks way louder than anything that you could ever individually accomplish. When people show up on your behalf and lend themselves to your support, let other persons know that they believe in you and so on, speaks volumes. You know what I'm saying? All right, as I move to kind of bring things down, the last question I want to ask all of you guys is basically, I just want you to take the time to speak to the ones coming behind you, the ones coming up, the next principal of the year, the one somewhere working in a situation who might be in the middle of a down period at the moment. Another teacher out there, another principal out there is reconsidering whether this is the profession for them. Considering, boy, maybe I might need to, see some, choose something else to go do. You know what I'm saying? They want more people in agriculture. They want more people in the cultural and creative fields to go start dancing and DJ and so on. So I want you to maybe change somebody's mind, change somebody's heart, let them know that, you know what, this too shall pass, and, they too have what it takes to really make an impact in the sector. All right, Jody, let's begin with you.
All right, so before I begin, I must say that I really do appreciate the Ministry of Education and Youth, the LASCO Chin Foundation, the Jamaica Teaching Council for this initiative of recognizing excellent teachers. I was saying to my wife the other day that I know that there are a lot of excellent teachers in the system. And I wanted to realize that I said excellent, not good teachers, excellent teachers. And even though these excellent teachers might never get the chance to be a LASCO teacher this year, personally, I have worked with teachers who are very, very, very good. And I would say that big up yourself, You have to kind of give yourself a shout out sometimes. Put up something on your status and say, God, I am here. Thank you. I am here. Somebody might not recognize your work, but you are there. And while thinking about it, I remembered somebody said to me, Jody, You have been working a long time. You have been working very hard. And one of the things you must remember is that your work, and the person says, stop, look into my eyes and listen to me what I am saying. Your work is being recognized or being seen by a lot of persons. So sometimes you might not, in that space that you are in, be recognized as a good teacher, and you might become discouraged. But don't watch that. As human beings, we are going to look at it and say, oh my gosh, I've been working hard and nobody's recognizing. But somebody somewhere is recognizing your good work. And one of the things I have come to realize is that once you start doing your e-portfolio and you start putting in some documents and some comments from parents and other teachers and other persons outside of your school and persons in the community and even parents, you are going to realize that you might never be on a stage collecting a trophy. You might never end up getting a Prime Minister's award. You might never end up getting an award for a national hero. As a national hero or a recognized person in the country. But when you look at all of those nice little love notes that your children send, children don't send those things to teachers that they don't respect and they don't love.
Facts.
So if you get 1 and you get 5 and you get 10 and you get 20, sometimes you can't even count the amount you get. And you have parents who come and just see you on the road and stop you. Sometimes I feel kind of cute when I'm on the road and parents stop and say, hey, isn't teach my son enough? That is a big recognition. So don't even, as human beings, you will stop to look and feel away. But don't let that deter you. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you from being the true, honest, good, excellent children wanting you to be teacher. If that's a, putting that in a term. Don't let that stop. Don't let that stop you any time. Just continue to do the work. Continue to trust God. Trust God. God has a way of putting things out there for you that you yourself can't put out there. But God has a way of elevating. So don't give up. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Trust me, don't give up. Right. I can't tell you my stories, but don't give up. Right. Hold on. Impact one more life. Impact one more parent. Impact one more teacher. Impact one more community. And you will see that your name is going to be written in history for life.
All right. I don't think you need nothing more than that. I'll big you up. Also, Shelley McCaw saying best grade 5 teacher straight out of Morant Bay Primary. Sir Brown to the world, and she's congratulating everybody else as well. So you have your set your people who are definitely appreciate and feeling the value of the work that you are putting in over there in St. Thomas. I'll big you up for that. Absolutely, 1,000%. All right. Over to you now, Mr. Mulgrave. Your turn. Your turn on the soapbox. Talk to the next generation of principals or teachers, persons in the sector who are looking for that, looking for a reason to stick around because they might not be having the best go of it at the moment, but they want to keep making an impact. What do you say?
I'd say never be satiated, never be satisfied. Always push for more. Always seek to become more, to be more, to do more. And no matter what anybody says, show up and do the work. If they praise you, show up and do the work. If they criticize you, show up and do the work. If no one even notices you, show up and do the work. I don't work for recognition. I work because I know that the children are depending on me. The parents are depending on me. My staff, I have an excellent staff. I have a loving set of children. I have the most supportive parents. They are going to do the best that they can to make sure that this thing works. I have a Ministry of Education family in Region 3 they are just so supportive and are willing to give you the 100%, the 110% support. So I really don't work for recognition. I just work because I know that I don't want my living to be in vain. And I think in time, if it is the Lord's will, the recognition will come. I tell you a quick story. I know we're winding down. I was on a particular building that was incomplete here at school. And I really wanted the building to be completed because I needed the space for the students to utilize it. And I was disheartened the morning, almost downtrodden, because I thought it would have been completed and it wasn't. A little grade 7 girl, very, very tiny, walked up to the 3rd floor. That kid has a heart condition. And she walked up to the 3rd floor and she said, "Sir, you look a little down this morning." And she proceeded to say to me, "Sir, don't worry about whatever it is. Remember that everything takes time. You're going to be okay." She's 12 years old. She has a heart condition, very feeble and tiny. And she walked all the way up to the 3rd floor to say that to me. Look around. There is enough motivation in your small corner. There are things that are going well. Not everything is going downhill. Sometimes we complain too much and we look at what we don't have. How about we start looking at what it is we do have and what we can do with what we have? And I still believe in miracles. I still believe that 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish can feed a multitude. Look at what you have in your sphere and make that impact with it. And I tell you, people will remember you. And if you are never recognized nationally, people will remember you for who you were and the kind of impact you made. And in time, recognition will come. So I use these things to inspire me, to push me. And I'm encouraging those who come behind or who are already in service. Make sure that you look to the people and be the best you can be to them too. People don't support people they don't like, people who are hostile. I have to say it. People who create toxic environments. If you are a leader or a teacher, build an environment that is positive. It's good to be likable. And being a principal doesn't mean that you must use the big stick policy and be this giant over people where you push people around and boss people around because you have a position of authority. It is being a servant leader. Connect with your people. Be open and real with them. Be humble and lead from a position of humility. And I tell you, it will pay off. It pays to be humble and it pays to love people. And I don't just mean saying it, because sometimes we talk about loving people and how we love the brotherhood and so on, but it is all lip service. We must love people genuinely. Well, love ourselves, certainly. Love yourself, love your neighbor, and love your God. And I tell you, it will pay off.
Fantastic. Again, I have to squeeze in the comments as they come. Akeem Blake saying, "Congratulations, Mr. Mulgrave." Kerry-Ann Brown again. Big up Mr. Mulgrave from the grade 9 and 10 Food and Nutrition Group, 1 principal. We love you, Daddy Egret. Soar, Design for Excellence, grade 9 and 10 Human Ecology Department. Delroy Williams saying, "Daddy Egret indeed." Raja 2 saying, "Big up yourself, Mr. Mulgrave. Well done." All right, so people appreciate, as we said, yeah, this, funny enough, is it platforms like these. Like I said, people take the time out to stop and type in a comment. Believe me when I tell you, people don't do that, and people don't do that every day. People don't do that ordinarily. Some people used to be showing you and doing these things here. This is your Grammy, this is your Oscar, this is your any kind of award. You see, when somebody see you and tell us, "Boy, if I never for you, I couldn't read," boy, I don't think I could have just hear that and just keep my eye them dry and just relax myself and keep my composure, Mr. Abroad. Somebody come tell me that means you have completely changed their life in a way that is completely indispensable. And so big ups to you for that. All right, Miss Mullings, the last salvo is really over to you. So your words of encouragement, your words of motivation to those who are coming behind you.
For those who are here already or those coming behind me, I'm going to be very honest and straight. And I'm telling you that if you know that you don't love the teaching, if it's not for you, leave it alone. I always tell people because it burns you out if you really don't have that kind of stick-to-itiveness. If you don't have the passion and love, leave it alone and go find what is yours. But for those of us who love it enough to stay, to show up, to do the work, build yourself. That's one of the first things that I would recommend to any teacher to do. Pour into yourself, build yourself personally, build yourself professionally, because it is from you that you will pour into other people, into the children. Jody spoke about the e-portfolio, and I'm a believer in the e-portfolio. I have here, I'm holding up the physical copy that I took, just a snippet from my e-portfolio I took with me to the interview, that panel interview for master teacher, for LASCO teacher of the year. I'm a master teacher, finalist by the way as well. And my e-portfolio is loaded, and so I couldn't print everything, but I had the QR code that led to it on the cover of my folder, so that the panelists could have just tapped in and gone into the e-portfolio to see the evidence of my practice, the body of your work. And it's very important that we learn from now as teachers, existing teachers, beginning teachers, senior teachers, veteran teachers. Start putting the body of your work together in a central place so that when the opportunity comes knocking, you can show up. When I received the email and my CV was asked for, I could tweak it and produce it almost immediately. I could draw from my e-portfolio. There are other awards that I would have gotten that they required a profile, my e-portfolio, and I could immediately find it. If I speak about teaching, transcending age, I've been teaching for 29 years. I'm 50 years old. My body might be 50. My body might be disabled, but in my mind, I'm as youthful and as agile as can possibly be. Very adaptable. I talk about flexibility. You have to embrace those traits as a teacher if you hope to be in it and to become that teacher that impacts the lives positively. Everybody has their story, and I speak about, there are just too many to really draw one. But I remember during illness, when my students heard that I was at home and not well and nobody knew what was happening, people were worrying, is she gonna die? Will she go back? And my daughter said to me, a very young child at that time, she says, "Mommy, are you going to die?" And, that time I started to say, "Lord God, I wonder if I go dead." And, and I said, "Why did you ask?" And she says, "Mommy, my friend Zoe says that when you die and the stepmommy comes, the stepmommy starts to treat the children badly." And it woke up my mind, and I said, "Oh my God." And then, all the students started to reach out, and my past student, who is my baptismal brother, Dr. Orlando Thomas, located in Old Harbor. Big up yourself, Orlando. Everybody loves him. Phenomenal young Christian man. He called my husband and he came for me. And he took me to Andrews Memorial. He took me to Manchester to get my MRIs done. And he took me to my neurologist, and they sorted me out to the point where I was able to relearn to walk, and he's there for me even during this process. And every turn I turn, I buck up into the past students, and they see me and they say, "Miss," and they come to hug you. Some of them embrace you. Some will say, "Oh, Miss, I never like you, but I've learned that you did this because of so and so." Because you can't like everybody, not going to like you. Some are going to be upset because you teach them the lessons that need to be taught. And so again, I'm going to say it. If you're a teacher, you're currently in it, it's not for you. You know in your heart that you're not the teacher. You're not giving it your 100%. It's not for you. Leave it alone. Find your calling. But once you know it's for you and the passion is there, it might be going down a little, but tap into that oil that brings back the passion. And the thing about teaching is that you have your seasons. Who is to say that you're going to be a classroom practitioner for life? It could be like Mr. Mulgrave, that you do your time in the classroom and then you ascend to authority positions of administration. You could remain in the classroom and become a master teacher. there are many avenues of growth and development and remuneration, which many persons are focusing on now. So build your capacity, build your portfolio, put your body of evidence together so that when the master teacher thing comes up, and big up to JTC, can't stop bigging up JTC, big up to Mr. Lascelles Chin and his team, the Honorable Lascelles Chin for being a transformational leader, visionary. Big up to the Ministry of Education for, that triangle, the three of them together. Teachers, put yourselves together, get your things ready so that when opportunity comes and not just knocks, but open the doors and windows, you are ready and you are able to go. Think about you. Think about the person, build you, and then you'll be able to always give if you continue to build you, the teacher, the person.
All right, fantastic. If somebody come through and this boy, I tell you, if you don't participate, or anybody who's watching this, you're a teacher and you left this and you don't feel reinvigorated, me have to go do like Miss Mullings and ask you need to go search yourself and decide if this one is for you, because we have some serious people who passionate about what they're doing. And if that passion was not transmitted, boy, I don't know. I don't know what to say. The comments are coming in so wonderfully. But I can't believe it. It moved, it shifted, so I don't get to see it. But I hope I don't get your name wrong. A lady by the name of Georgette who was saying that she's going to take some of your words, Mr. Mullings, to use them as personal motivation as she goes through her process in teaching and practicing and so on. Vision TV Design Tech saying blessings to you, Mr. Mulgrave. Shanoy Cox saying one father. Egret Heart, I love the name. Roger Two's Grave. Vision TV Design Tech Chaplain Tyrone George Green here, joining in from Mile Gully, Manchester. So basically, a heap of people from all over the place showing you love. That alone tells you that the impact you have made is outstanding. The work that you're doing is tremendous. People love you. People value you. People really appreciate that work that you're doing. And, even if you didn't hear it before, I'm sure you know it already, but the truth of the matter is, over here, we appreciate the work that you do. Jamaica's teachers are, by far, in my estimation, its greatest resource, because they are the ones who curate the minds of our youngsters and train them to believe that they can do things, or equip them to believe that they can go on and do things in this life, do things in this country, do things in this world. Because us Jamaican people, the one thing I would tell you is that no matter which far we go, we believe we should be the head and not the tail. And so it starts in the classroom. It starts with those persons who are literally pouring into their minds each and every day. And so we have to give you kudos. We have to value you and really make you feel welcome. And in this particular case, we have Teacher of the Year, Principals of the Year. We really appreciate the work that you do. If nothing else, if nothing else I say comes across, let it be said that I value you absolutely. I value the work that you do. It is tremendous. Encountering persons who are passionate about what they do is one of those things that really is life altering in my estimation. When you meet people who are passionate about what they do, they help you to become passionate about what you do. And I think you have also reinvigorated my energy to be good at what I do, so that I can speak dispassionately about my job to other persons and motivate them to be good as well. So thank you for that. Go forth and do great things. It was wonderful to have all three of you here today. It was wonderful to meet you and just be impacted by the words that you were saying, because it was truly a very, very inspirational encounter. All right. The comments keep coming. I can't read all of them. People love you. Needless to say, people love you. Them like you. Keep up the good work. Continue doing what you're doing. And I think that we're going to call it a day. We're going to pull up right there. We're going to time for us to wrap. Thank you to everyone who tuned into our discussion, especially those of you sending your questions and your comments. If you have a comment, keep dropping it. The live is going to stay up on YouTube and on Facebook. Keep dropping it in. Keep sending those comments. They deserve the commendation. They deserve the praise. Keep doing it. It makes for a great video. All right? Remember, our audience plays a major part in our show. If there's anyone in particular you'd like us to have in studio, let us know. We try to have that person in studio as soon as possible. All right? Don't forget to follow us. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Jamaica Information Service to see who will be in studio next. We do this every week, live online, Facebook, and YouTube. I've been your host, Vaughn Davis, and this has been Studio 58A Live. Thank you again for joining us, and please have a wonderful rest of the day. All three of you have a wonderful rest of the day as well, and continue to do great things. Thank you so much for being here with me. Take care.